Today's video is for women entrepreneurs who are really ready to step out of this hustle game and really go into a life where they get to enjoy it. They're not sitting in fear. In the last video, we went over what shadow success really is. In this video, I want to take you through the symptoms. I think it is extremely important for you to understand, are you in it? Are you experiencing it? Because the first step to getting out of shadow success is actually identifying if you're in it. You may be, you may not be. This video is going to take you through all the symptoms to show you that if you are or if you're not. And then if you're not in it, but you're starting to notice these symptoms creeping up a little bit, this is your pause button to say, okay, this is slowly creeping in. I need to watch out for this. I need to make sure I am not consumed by shadow success. Now let's get into it. All right, so let's get into talking about the symptoms. This is really important to understand. So if you have just a thought of maybe I'm in shadow success, if you watched my first video explaining what shadow success is, and I call it also anti-success, so you'll hear me throw those words back and forth. They mean the same thing. I want to talk about the symptoms. This is where I need you to sit down, listen to this video, and help yourself identify, am I in this? The second thing is if you're like, well, I'm not really in it, I need you to step back and say, wait, am I starting to feel these things? Because if you're starting to feel it, that means where if you are here and you're happy and life's going great, but you're starting to see these symptoms, that means that your shadow, it's starting to grow. When your shadow success starts to grow bigger and bigger, it will ultimately consume you, okay? And this is what happens to so many people. So this is where you see your amazing creators and content creators or coaches, even where people have these big businesses and you're like, oh my God, they're amazing. Like they're making $100 million a year, or maybe they're just making $1 million a year. And you're like, that is crazy. I think it's awesome. And you're watching, but then you're noticing that their life is crumbling. Their husbands divorced them. Their friends don't see them. Their kids don't see them. They're spiraling down. And before you know it, they've exploded. The business has disappeared. Their husbands are gone. Their kids hate them. Their lives are miserable. And the worst thing ever is that your health is gone. And then you're sick and you can't get the energy back and everything else. We do not want to be in this. So I'm going to go through the symptoms so that you can understand what it is. And I want you to really think, like I said, are you in it or not? Are you starting to get into it? Because that's a big one too. All right, let's get into this. So I want to start with pressure. What happens is you are doing really well. You're starting to be happy. You're like, I found my success. I'm doing great. I am making more of my favorite thing called money. And I have a little stack of money. But what we start to feel, which is so bizarre, but it happens, is that we're sitting here and all of a sudden we feel like this big block is resting on us. And before we know it, this block starts pushing down harder and harder. And then what happens without us really realizing this pressure is this block is now crushing you. I'm pushed down of what is happening. Making this money feels hard. Living my life feels hard. Everything feels hard. The pressure on me is too much. If you're starting to feel a lot of pressure, I call this, and I talked about this a lot in the first video, it's fear. This pressure that we're feeling is actually fear. Fear is something that is so intense to the body that you can be in so much fear that you don't even move. You can pass out. Fear is such a big emotion for us that pressure is actually fear of losing it all piling on us. This is a big symptom that you are in or falling into shadow success. So the next one is guilt. With guilt, this is what happens, and this is what I see a lot with women. We have our lives. Here we are, right? And we have our husbands, and then we have our little ones, and we're saying, hi, little ones. And if it's my case, my family, I have a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old. I'm going to draw that's a lie. My 13-year-old, no joke, he's as tall as I am, which is crazy. That's my little guy. And then my daughter's a little shorter than me, so I'm going to put her right there. That's my family. And then we start having this thing called guilt. We all know what that is, right? I want to work hard so that I can make this money and I'm able to do certain things. This is important to me. So I want to be able to do it. But the problem is that when we want to go ahead and make the money, we have to step back. That means that we need to give more time to us throughout the day, and we have to go sit at a desk and we need to go work, right? And we have our computer sitting there and we're working. We start to actually feel guilty because we're not seeing our family. We're working hard because when you start a business, when you first start your business, you have to work hard. That's the only way you can really do it. I have not figured out another way. If you have, let me know. The only time you see people who don't look like they work hard, that's because they've built something before and they pull that audience over and they know that I'm going to take this audience and I'm going to put it here and I'm going to have instant success. So when somebody comes with a business really fast and they're like, oh, I'm making all this money super fast, the secret they're not telling you is they had a huge audience already to sell to. So if you build a huge audience, let's say, so for me, I have the House of Cortessa, my private society, which is a curated place with rooms and an ecosystem to help women make income jumps and build ecosystems that breathe so they have an empire that breathes. This is what it's all about. And it's community, health, all this cool stuff wrapped into a private society just for women. But then I can say I have 500,000 people on my email list. Then I say, oh, well, I know these women. Now they want to be able to do their health and longevity because they built all this money. They're really living their life, but they want to make sure they do it. I'm going to create a health supplement. And I'm going to take that because I know they want this. And here's a supplement I'm creating. I'm going to have almost instant success. If I already know what my people want, I have the people already sitting there and I create this supplement for them because I have the audience already. So I don't want you looking at people saying, well, they got an instant success. That's not how it works. Everybody has to work somewhere down the road to get where they are today. So we work really hard. And because of that, we don't get to see our family. We kind of almost have like these blinders on and we can't see our family. We feel like, okay, we need to spend all this time. I know Russell Brunson always says it, and I know that I talk about this too. We get hyper-focused on something. Like we have to really narrow in and say, this is what we're doing. And we're so focused that I'm going to pay attention. It's very easy to say, I don't have time for you, son. I don't have time for you, daughter, husband, partner. I'm working on something. If we keep doing this, this guilt that we have will consume us. It will totally consume us. And we will be left feeling guilty with nothing. The next one is the nervous system burnout. This one I experienced on my own. By the way, I have been in shadow success. I didn't know what it was for a long time, and it was consuming me. I was probably in the biggest, darkest shadow for a long time. I am slowly climbing out of it, which is amazing. I had so much pressure that I could not get out of bed. I just didn't want to go to work. I had fear of everything. What if I do it wrong? What if I say it wrong? What if everything's wrong? And I was creating courses that I wasn't really enjoying to do. I just wasn't loving what I was doing. Then the guilt hit me because I didn't see my kids. It was always so much. So I had that guilt sitting on me a lot. Then my nervous system burned out. 100% burned out. Our nervous system is so critical to us that if we don't take care of it, we will collapse physically, mentally under the weight of all of this. So with the nervous system, a lot of people may not understand this. Your nervous system is running a whole ecosystem inside your body. What happens is that if you are not taking care of you and you become a really sad you and you're not liking anything you're doing, what happens is your system goes into fight or flight, and sometimes fear. But fight or flight really is the response. And when you're stuck in this for too long, what happens is your body shuts down and it doesn't want to work anymore. You have your fear of everything. Then it's like you feel tired That's my little bed. And you just want to sit in bed all day. You don't want to do anything anymore. And then you're going to start having digestive problems. You're going to get sick. You're going to have mental brain fog. You're going to have all your thoughts and everything that you want to have in my little thought bubble. And it's going to be foggy. It's going to just be foggy. You're going to be like, what did I do? What was I doing? Where am I going? And when you have your nervous system really burn out, it is a bad place to be. You can't function. Everything's hard. Remember we talked about that pressure? It gets so heavy on you. You're just like, I cannot make another micro decision. When you go sit down to actually work, your body's sitting here going, this is too hard. This is too much. Like I need to protect my body, my person. And if I don't protect my person, I won't survive. I will die. That's how your body perceives it. So then it starts shutting everything off. You can't make a micro decision. You can't do everything. You're not posting. You're not commenting. You're not out in the world at all. You're not launching. You're not working with new clients. You're just in this world of, this is too much for me. You may not know it, but the little things really come in. You'll feel it as body issues, hormone issues, feeling hot, feeling cold, losing your hair, a lot of inflammation in your body. Body's super achy. Tired's a big one. But you have this brain fog. And you're just like, oh, you work for 2 hours and you can't figure out what you were doing, or you're not making progress. You go sit down, watch TV, or you procrastinate by doing laundry. You're doing everything but what moves the needle. This is your nervous system. And what you start feeling is every high is like super high. Every low is super low. And I will tell you over time, because my nervous system burned out bad. I'm working on my health. I'm working on the inflammation I have in my body. I've been crawling up this ladder for 4 years to get my system back in play and to get it working so I have the energy so I can focus. So don't let your nervous system burn out. This is huge. If you do, or you're already burnt out, do not freak out. I've been there, done that. I'm working on it. You can always message me. We can always have a conversation about it. I know how to at least get people started. Everybody's different. Your nervous system acts different than mine and the next person and so on. For you, I at least know how to get you started by hearing your symptoms and what's going on. We can now make a plan of like getting you started, talking to the right people, asking the right questions. If you're not getting pulled out, you're just going to sink deeper and deeper into this shadow success. And it's really going to consume you to the point where one day you wake up and you're like, what is this life I have? And we don't want that. Now, the ups and down roller coaster. So we have the ups and downs of a roller coaster. And this is something that I think we really need to understand when we're looking at the symptoms. We're going to sit here and we're going to say, I feel really good. This is fantastic. Until all of a sudden you're like, whoa, where did this come from? So the ups and downs of the roller coaster, you start seeing it coming down. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. This is crazy. So in the last one, the nervous system, I talked about the burnout where the highs are really high and the lows are really low. This is what that up and down roller coaster is. Business always has ebbs and flows. It's just the life. I call it the seasons of life. It's going to be good. It's going to be bad. But when you have the symptoms and you're inside of shadow success, the problem is that you can't handle these lows. When you start dropping into these lows, it is horrible. You're hanging on for dear life that you're going to fly off this coaster. This is a huge symptom that you're in shadow success. We don't want to be hanging on for dear life. Now, the next one really is disconnection from everything. So we talked about the guilt of our family. We want to make this money. We want to go to the office. We want to work. We kind of give up on our family a little bit because we feel we have to. What happens, and that's fine sometimes in the beginning, you should never neglect your family, your partner, any of those, your friends, because you need them, by the way, a lot. So you don't want to do that. But we get this disconnection where we say, I don't know what to do. I am struggling with joy. I don't feel joy. I used to be very happy, but now I'm not. That's something like Mondays. Like I used to love Mondays, but I really don't like Mondays anymore. That's kind of a disconnection. That's really where we're looking and saying, I'm disconnected from this whole process now. Like something's changed and is different. Then we have creativity. Creativity is, I want to paint a picture. I want to have this cool little guy hanging out, right, in the ocean, taking a swim. It's going to have a beautiful day. It's going to be sunny and happy. and I create this cool little picture. The problem is when we are disconnected, this creativity doesn't exist. We try so hard to build something. It looks almost like this. We don't know what it's going to look like. It's not designed. And maybe we come in and we're like, maybe I'll add like a little hodgepodge to that. I think this might work, but maybe not. Maybe I'll add a little more because I think this will make it work. And we're not really building a masterpiece or an empire or ecosystems that breathe like I teach about and what I build and have inside the house of Cortessa. Instead, what you're actually doing is you're actually creating this hodgepodge of stuff that doesn't really work, because what you've end up doing is you've lost your creativity. You've lost that insight. You've lost that vision to actually see what it is you need to build to do it. And that is critical when you're building these businesses. If we're not testing and we're not doing, then your creativity is gone. And instead of being creative, we're just hodgepodging things together and we're not building something for the future. We're not actually taking a vision. And I always say you're chalking the lines of a path and then you start laying the stones and how you want to lay that path to the vision, because the journey is more important than the goal. And a lot of people don't see that. So if we are disconnected and we can't see this creativity, we're losing a lot. We're never going to build the ecosystem that breathes. We're never going to get to the lifestyle where you can just travel, enjoy, hang out, do stuff, not stress. It doesn't happen. You're going to have fear. You're going to have this pressure all the time. And then we start looking at where success actually starts feeling really heavy. Success will be like this. All that money that you're building, all of that stuff you're doing, it starts crushing us till all of a sudden we're nothing. It just has consumed us to the point where we think we're having success, but this is not success. Success is not heavy. I need to be very clear. When you have success, it should feel really light. It should feel easy. It should feel like, wow, I didn't know I could do it like that, right? That's the way success should really feel. And so we don't want success to feel heavy. You might also feel like peace and calm feels distant. My whole thing I always talk to everyone about is I just want to get to a coffee shop and I just want to sit. I have my cup of coffee and I'm drinking my coffee and I'm just chilling. And maybe I'm just looking at the sunset today and I'm not doing anything else. A lot of people cannot do that. You can't just go sit. You feel eager to work. You have to check your email. You have to check your text. You have to see what's going on. You have to create something, finish something, do something. That is not success. Success is being able to be in this moment and just chill. Just sit with yourself. I'm finding when I sit with myself and my thoughts, I have amazing thoughts, amazing things, and I sit. And if something pops in my mind where I'm like, ooh, I need to give that attention, I will write it down, I let it go, and I sit. That's what we need to do. That's how you make success not feel so heavy. And then the last one is really, why am I not happy? I work so hard. A lot of people will tell me this when I'm coaching with women entrepreneurs and they really want to build. They'll come to me and say, you know, Christina, I don't understand. I actually have a lot of money. I'm in a place I never thought I would be. I should actually feel extremely happy. But I'm not. I have money and I'm miserable. This is where a lot of people don't realize they are in shadow success. When you have money, you have the lifestyle that you think you want, but you're not happy. I have a really good friend of mine. She drives a Bentley every day and she makes a lot of money. And she asked me one day, why am I not happy? I have been divorced 3 times. I don't know why I keep picking these men. I have a ton of money, but I'm not happy. I don't enjoy my life. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I would rather be poor and do nothing than live this life. And it's because she's in shadow success. She's making the money, but she hasn't kept the values of her health, of her life, of the family, of friends, all the stuff that she should have. Instead, she's driven by just the money and the lifestyle, not everything else. If you don't build an ecosystem that breathes, if you're not in a place like the house of Cortessa where there's rooms for you to belong and be part of, it's really easy for this right here, this money, to consume you. And then what happens is you end up like this. You're not happy. You have nice cars, nice handbags, you live the life, you travel the world, but you're not happy. Your kids resent you. There's no ambition, there's no drive, and you're just like, I'll keep making more of this, maybe it'll make me happy, and it doesn't. Okay? So we have gone over the symptoms of shadow success. So again, it's pressure, their guilt, your nervous system burnout, the ups and downs of the coaster, how you feel hanging on for dear life, the disconnection, the joy, happiness or not, you're losing all of it, having the creativity to actually create the vision that you have, and then having heavy success. The success is actually feeling really heavy and crushing you, and never having the moment to have quiet time to sit and think about that. Then it's like, why am I not happy? I have all this stuff, this money, this life, all the things I thought, but I'm not happy. There's a lot of things in the happy. And again, I can have that conversation with you and really help you identify these things. I was talking to one of my really good friends, and hers was very much of, she's not charging a lot of money, but she's giving a lot of time. She's not ready to charge more. So I was okay with that. And I said, okay, let's talk about the activity. You're in these groups all the time posting to get a few clients to pay you a few pennies. What if we change it? What if we stop spending hours a day in these groups trying to earn trust, trying to get a client, and instead we connect with other women who have the same ICA that we have, right? The people that we are talking to, and we connect and we collaborate with them. And then we can pick strategically a handful of people, collaborate with them, cross-pollinate. You're going to get 10 times more clients than being in these groups. Because that person is giving you a shout out. They'll be like, hey, you got to work with this person. They're freaking amazing. And then people are going to hear that because they already trust that creator. That's faster and better. So we got to find that balance between charging enough for her time that she feels valuable and that people come to her. She doesn't have to work so hard. It's more enjoyable. So that's something to think about as well. After we've gone through all these symptoms, we're saying, yes, I am in it. That is fantastic because that is what we want. You need to feel it and understand that you are there because you can't make the climb out until you realize that you're in it. If you watch this and you're like, I'm starting to fall into this, that is amazing too, because we can now help you before you fall in or get consumed by it. Before that happens, it's a lot easier to change now than it is to pull yourself up. Trust me, I've been doing it for a long time, pulling myself out of the hole, getting up and saying, I see the light now, instead of being in a dark hole that's consuming me and eating me alive. The next couple videos I'm going to go through are going to go even deeper in this concept and to give you more realization in it. And then there's also going to be a video about how you can avoid this or pull yourself out of this, at least get that started, because it is a process. It is not something you can just do overnight. But I want you to hang tight on this channel, subscribe if you like this, share this with the woman who needs to hear this, because there is more content, more videos coming out that are going to be explaining all of this and so much more. I also have my podcast here on YouTube where I do interviews with other entrepreneurs who have cool things to teach you of how to make an ecosystem that breathes. Or it'll be just me talking about things that I've been doing, helping others make ecosystems that breathe, or how I'm doing it myself for my business. So make sure you subscribe. Now, if you want to take this the next step further, you can go ahead and check down below. I talk about my House of Cortessa, which is my private society. It's only by application. But if you are interested, get on the wait list. We're going to have something called an open house where I will explain all about the house, the pricing, what you get, why it's there, the different rooms, and then how we actually are building that as an ecosystem that breathes, where we have collaboration, we have education, we have all the stuff you need when you need it, not before, not after. That's the coolest thing about it, including private one-on-one coaching with me if that's something that you need. Now, if you're like, that sounds cool, I want to get on the wait list, but I want something a little faster, then you can also look at our next live experience called The Experience here in Nashville. And I'm actually going to be taking you through a day of activities to give you a 5% increase in your business like that day. And the cool thing is, if you stay for the whole experience, you'll get dinner, collaboration, breakfast, all sorts of cool stuff if you stay for the longer experience. So that's an option for you as well. All the details are below. I'll see you in the next video right now.